Republicans have mercilessly attacked President Biden for his age and his mental faculty, and yet now we see the current president falling asleep at meetings and drooling on paperwork, and they seem to have no problem with that. Does that seem hypocritical to you?
Do you think?
Do you feel like that Joe Biden and his people did everything they could to help you win the election?
I write about that, as you know, and certainly I think we needed more time, and from certain places in the administration we needed more support. I called him. It was actually a very sad occasion, which was, it was after there was an attempt on his life, and I called him to check on him. While I was asked, 1 minute, we're going to go and get him, I could hear him in the background, and he was selling his book to somebody. And he was basically hawking his book. And the contrast around the reality of the significance of an attempt to assassinate a former president of the United States, a candidate and a nominee at that point for president, and the fact that at that very, what should be a somber moment for all of us, that was happening in the background was
unbelievable.
Unbelievable, but, you know, at this point, not surprising, right?
Not at all.
Now, Kamala Harris, this week, the former vice president made it clear to potential 2028 rivals that she is working to keep another White House campaign viable. Now, according to Polymarket, Kamala Harris has just a 5% chance of becoming the Democratic nominee in 2028. And despite losing to Donald Trump last year, Kamala Harris appears to think pretty highly of herself, claiming that many are saying that she's the most qualified candidate to ever run for president. CJ, what do you make of this?
Well, Kamala Harris thinking very highly of herself is nothing new, but my request as a Republican is please do. Please run, Kamala. I beg you to. That would be in very early Christmas for the Republican Party. And I think J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, whoever it may be, would welcome that matchup and that rematch. And so, Kamala, let's do it. Let's have a good time. And I guarantee you it'll be just yet another campaign that she ends up regretting.
Well, Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, these are the names getting thrown around. AOC, we will wait and see what happens in 2028. But actor James Wood has warned that California Governor Gavin Newsom, his rising national profile, is masking what he called an atrocious record in California. Let's listen to this.
This slick grifter, Gavin Newsom, whose record is atrocious, but people don't pay a lot of attention to the fact he's filling in the slot, basically. But as fruit farmers always say, early ripe, early rotten. And this guy will make a lot of noise right now, and his polls will go up. And we've, seen the polls. Donald Trump had a, 8% chance of winning in 2016 and wiped the floor with Hillary Clinton, who was a shoo-in. We know what it's going to be like. Look,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Gavin Newsom, he's focused on getting his profile bigger and bigger, and it's crazy to see, but it seems like his popularity is rising. But look at his track record in California. It is a disaster.
Not just look at it, live it. I used to live in Los Angeles, California, and I can tell you about all the homeless encampments that I would see oftentimes during my commute. I could look at the crime that was ever present all throughout the city of Los Angeles and all throughout the state, to be quite frank. And I think James Wood was absolutely right. Early ripe, early rotten. I'm old enough to remember when it was inevitable that Hillary Clinton would be the president of the United States. I remember when it was inevitable that Kamala Harris would be the president of the United States. Ask any of those people what it's like to live in the White House. They cannot tell you, other than Hillary Clinton, who, had to share her residence, of course, with Monica Lewinsky. But beyond that, it's quite interesting to see what will actually come of those campaigns. I think that President Trump and, of course, his successor, J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio, will handle whoever the Democrats put up against him, and they'll do it well.
CJ, I just want to speak to you about the Somali fraud scandal. Unbelievable. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has said that a lot of the money from individuals who committed fraud has gone overseas. And the Trump administration is tracking that both to the Middle East and Somalia. Can you bring us up to speed on what the latest is with this Somali fraud scandal?
It's an absolute travesty, and it's exactly why DOGE cannot just be a federal, action. It needs to be happening all across the country. You have all of these liberal states like Minnesota, California, who are pumping millions upon millions of dollars in these government programs. They're being used and abused by people all throughout the bureaucracy or the state localized deep state that they have. And so I think these actions are probably just the beginning of what we're going to uncover. People deserve to go to jail when it comes to this. In some cases, probably deported will probably be the end result of a lot of this. But it's unfortunate to see that so many people allow this to happen under their nose for so long and frankly just didn't care at all.
Finally, some engagement news. Donald Trump Jr. and Bettina Anderson have gotten engaged after 1 year of dating. Of course, the son of US President Donald Trump. He made the announcement at the White House. Let's just take a listen.
Not often that I'm at a loss for words because we usually do the ranting and raving really well, but this is a little different. But I just want to wish all of you guys an incredible holiday season, a Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year, and to thank Bettina for that one word, yes. It's almost, when you go down there and it's like you're going to go and you're trying to ask and you're not sure what the answer is going to be. It's always a little bit rough, but she said yes, so that's a big win for the end of the year. Would you like to say something, Bettina?
Wow, what a privilege it is to be here in the White House, Mr. President. Thank you so much for hosting this incredible party. And to our First Lady, these decorations, am I right? Are they unbelievable? This has really been the most unforgettable weekend of my life, and I get to marry the love of my life, and I feel just like the luckiest girl in the world. So thank you, and thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, thank you.
CJ, exciting news for the family.
No, exciting news, and I couldn't be happier for my friend Don Jr. and his beautiful soon-to-be bride Bettina. But I will say, it does add a lot of stakes to me. My mom actually saw that video and said, "CJ, what are you waiting for?" I said, "Mom, I'm 23. Don has taken his time. Let me take my time." So no, but all jokes aside, so excited for Don, so excited for Bettina. They're going to make an incredible couple, and best wishes to them.
Absolutely. CJ Pearson, RNC Youth Advisory Council co-chair, thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour. We really appreciate it.
Good to see you, my friend.